Welcome to The Vintage Voice. I'm Jessica Rapp. I'm here with a special co-host today, Greer Albaugh, and our special guest, Kevin McKee from Parks and Recreation.
Kevin, thanks so much for being on today.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
We're going to talk about staying active and engaged while aging today and how that correlates with Scottsdale's Parks and Recreation Department.
Can you tell us a little bit more about your role with the city of Scottsdale and how you kind of fell into the Parks and Rec realm?
Yeah, so I am the one of two deputy directors for our Parks and Recreation Department. I oversee all the fun stuff, so all the recreation programs, our community facilities, and all of our aquatic centers. So like I said, anytime I'm describing my job, I tell people I just get to have fun at work every day, which is awesome. I've worked for the city of Scottsdale since I was 16. I started at the railroad park, driving the train, doing birthday parties. I grew up in Scottsdale, so being able to kind of give back to the community that raised me is super special to me. I grew up right down the street from the Indian Bend Wash, which if you're from around these parts, you know that this was really a groundbreaking kind of idea, transforming a flood zone into this world-renowned series of golf courses and parks and lakes and all this great stuff. So I've worked throughout the city, throughout my career in different recreation roles, in human services. I was in the mayor's office for a little bit. So I've been lucky to have a lot of really well-rounded experience with the city. And I love it here. I'm raising my family here now. So again, I feel like I'm coming full circle from being a kid out in the parks, playing sports, learning how to swim at Chaparral Aquatic Center, to now overseeing and making sure that we're giving exceptional service to our constituents.
You guys do such a good job in Parks and Rec. I'm a little partial because I've worked in Parks and Rec before. So I want to talk today about how older people are finding their purpose, and they're not just retiring and calling it a day. They are retiring and kind of starting the second half of their life. And how does Parks and Rec and the Scottsdale community help the seniors or aging adults find their purpose?
Well, there's a lot of different ways that we give people purpose. Some people might not know Scottsdale is one of the oldest cities per capita in terms of what our age is here. So we've got a lot of older adults who are here. So you can see that in a lot of what we do, but there's so many varying ways that seniors, active adults can get involved. And, it can be as easy as stepping outside and just going for a walk in our parks or going on a bike ride. Those more casual users of our Parks and Recreation system. And but we also have facilities that they can come out to. We have fitness centers. We have all types of leisure education classes that people can participate in. We've got 2 recreation centers run by our Human Services Department who offer so many great things specifically for seniors. So we have so many different ways to get involved. We also have amenities for children. So if you're a grandparent and you're kind of reliving, those best days as a parent, and you're helping out your family, what better way to do that than taking the grandkids to the McCormick-Stillman Railroad Park, taking them to their closest, playground or community center. So there's so many different ways to get involved. The last thing I'll mention is keeping that purpose through part-time employment or through volunteerism. So we have some older adults who are just looking to do something. Maybe they had a successful career and they're in retirement. They're just really looking for something to do. So they work for us part-time, and maybe they're supervising our sports leagues. They're working in a community center. They're filling their own bucket, right? They're getting that social interaction. They're feeling, they're putting their former career skills to good use. So there's so many different ways that seniors and active adults can get involved, and it doesn't have to be super involved. Whatever your comfort level is, we've got something for everyone.
I will say I work closely with the Old Town brand ambassadors, or the Old Town ambassadors, excuse me. And it's really fun to just sit with them and hear their stories about, a lot of them grew up in Scottsdale, and that's like their favorite thing, to be able to give back to the community that they've lived in their entire lives. And they do so many cool things out in Old Town. They're always waving and telling people where to go. So there definitely are a lot of opportunities for older adults here in the city.
Absolutely.
Yes, we're always looking for volunteers at the senior centers. And, you know, you mentioned that the leisure ed classes, a lot of them take place at Granite Reef and Via Linda. And I think Via Linda is has the most attended leisure ed classes out of all of the centers in Scottsdale. So they're really successful up there.
They
love their classes.
Yes, absolutely. We program as much as we can because our programs fill up there. So yeah, we're happy to host them there.
Do you have any programs specifically at Via Linda or any of the senior centers that you see are more attended than others?
So we went through this past year, we finalized a system-wide Parks and Recreation master plan.
Okay.
Through that plan, we did so much extensive community input and outreach. And through that process, a few of the big hitters that we heard from the community are classes, fitness classes for older adults. That was one of the big things. So we have a really active older community, and we have programs that can meet that need. We have senior strength training classes offered at our fitness facilities. We have just about any type of fitness class you could possibly want, from yoga, Zumba.
You know, what's really popular is the mindful meditation and like sound healing classes. Those are the trends, I feel like, right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
I will say I walked by a chair yoga class a couple of weeks ago, and I kind of wanted to sign up for it. I was like, that sounds fun.
Yeah, sign me up. I can sit down while I'm working out.
Yeah, right.
Like,
what a
that sounds
concept.
great. So super exciting news for us too, along the lines of senior fitness. We've been working probably over the past decade to try to bring on a new program, which we just finalized and are rolling out right now through our Club SAR Fitness Center. And it's a new program that will allow for insurance reimbursed memberships, which is awesome.
Whoa.
So
Yeah.
if one of the programs called Silver and Fit. So through this program, if you have a qualifying insurance plan, your insurance plan will pay for your membership at Club SAR, which is fantastic. So it's a regular request that we get a lot of times from seniors. So now we're able to meet that need, and rather than those seniors going out to other fitness facilities that qualify, now they can stay right here in Scottsdale and go to
Amazing.
Club SAR and get that workout in.
That's awesome. And I know Club SAR also has a lot of workout classes and stuff. I'm a frequenter at Club SAR, so I can appreciate those older adults having access to that. That's really awesome.
Yeah.
What does SAR stand for? I forgot. Do you remember?
Social, athletic, recreation.
I totally put you on the spot and you passed.
Yeah.
Do you have any stories from seniors or aging adults in Parks and Rec programs that might have stood out to you, or any moments that you'd like to share with us?
So I've got a lot. So I worked alongside Jessica at the Scottsdale Senior Center. So that was a really special time for me, like hundreds and hundreds of grandmas and grandpas, basically, that like adopted me in to the point where you know exactly what's going on in their lives. You know about their families, and really you're kind of their connection to the community as staff members, which is so awesome to see. You see those new seniors coming in who are a little timid. They don't really, they're kind of a little hesitant to get involved. And then as soon as they get involved with some of the groups, some of the programs, they become like one of the regulars there. So building some really great relationships with, again, those kind of grandmas and grandpas, and to the point where, like, I had my first child when I was working at the senior centers, and had people bringing me like knit blankets and sweaters that my kids still have to this day, which is so
cool.
special. We hosted a Parks and Rec event last September which was called the Parks and Rec Rewind 70s Night. So
fun.
set the 1970s, obviously big decade for some of our seniors. And at one point we had a DJ, and DJ was playing the YMCA, and the dance floor was filled with like what felt like 100 older adults just getting down on the dance floor. And it was the best, absolute best thing. Like, that's one of those moments where you look around and you feel really proud for the work that we do and the work that our staff does to create these really like core moments and memories for the public. So any time that we can really create something, a special memory, and it's not always intentional. Again, maybe it's just having an awesome place for people to come whenever they can. You know, we just built a new park up in Ashler Hills, up in way north Scottsdale. And when we were going up there to open the park, saw a grandmother with her 2 grandkids, and she's like, I live right down the street. Our closest park was like 8 miles away. So now I can bring my grandkids here every day. And such a mix of like older adults playing pickleball on the pickleball courts, and then you've got the little kids kind of racing around on their scooters and playing on the playground. So that kind of stuff's really special to me.
That's amazing.
That's awesome.
I love that. So I heard that it's Parks and Recreation Month. Tell me more about
You heard correctly, yes. So every year, July is National Parks and Recreation Month. So we are celebrating all month long. This is designated by the National Recreation Park Association. And really it's a time for us to celebrate not only the recreation programs, facilities, and services that we offer, but also the amazing staff and Parks and Recreation professionals that work behind the scenes. So all month long, we've been spotlighting our programs. We have a special event in coordination with National Parks and Rec Month, which is taking place this Friday, the 18th, at the McCormick-Stillman Railroad Park. It's our Splash and Groove party, which will take place at the new splash pad there.
Is it open?
It will be opening this Friday.
Oh, we've been waiting for this.
Yes, yeah.
So exciting.
In Scottsdale, we have a lot to celebrate about our Parks and Rec professionals in our department. We are one of the longest nationally accredited Parks and Recreation agencies in the nation. So we've been nationally accredited since 1994, which basically means we follow the highest standards and we exceed the highest standards in our industry. So when you look at how we operate, when you look at our facilities, when you participate in our programs, it really is kind of a higher quality that we're offering here. So we're also home to some of the really groundbreaking, world-renowned facilities. We're home to, as I mentioned earlier, the Indian Ben Wash, which was just kind of a groundbreaking concept in its time. The community, it was originally proposed that we build a concrete channel, flood channel, to mitigate the flooding throughout South Scottsdale. And the residents said, no, we don't want that. We want something else. We want a series of parks instead, and that's exactly what we've done. And that project has really inspired the rest of the world to follow suit. We're also home to the McDowell-Sonoran Preserve. So we're the largest city-owned natural preserve in the nation. And when you're out at the preserve, you can really understand why it's so special. Don't encourage you to go out in the month of July. Obviously, it's a little hot there. But when you do go, it's amazing to think that you can drive 20 minutes and be in the middle of the lush Sonoran Desert and really see this untouched preserve space that some visionary leaders made it a point to set aside and not to develop, which is awesome.
I will say, coming from another state and moving to Arizona, specifically being in Scottsdale, I really do recognize the fact that our Parks and Recreation department and our city itself is just so forward thinking and everything is so innovative. And I really do see in my day-to-day life working here just how much the programs that your department impacts not only employees, but residents. I live in Scottsdale, so I go to things for fun when I'm not on the clock too. And it's just a really cool city to be a part of. So thank you so much for all the work you do.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Before we go, I did just want to touch a little bit on Scottsdale Life and what that brochure does for people, or what it offers for people. Can you tell us a little bit more about when the next edition will release and what exactly is in Scottsdale Life?
So Scottsdale Life is our quarterly programming brochure, and it lists all of our, not only just our Parks and Recreation classes and offerings, but offerings from throughout the entire city of Scottsdale. So the senior centers, the libraries, any of our really public programs, that's your kind of one-stop reference to really see what's going on for a quarter. So the next issue will be for the fall, which is September through December. So take a look at those classes. If you go onto our website, scottsdaleaz.gov, and just search Scottsdale Life brochure, you'll be able to pull that up. You can start making your wish list for everything that you want to participate in. Those classes do fill up quickly. We got high demand. So, put those programs in your shopping cart or your wish list, and then be ready to roll when registration opens. Another great way to stay up to date on everything that's going on within Scottsdale Parks and Rec is by following our social media channels. So Scottsdale Parks and Rec on Instagram and Facebook. So we're sharing all the great content, not just on our programs, but our park improvements. We've been working around the clock, especially now that we're in summer, which is kind of turf growing season. We're doing all types of park improvement projects. We have some big major capital improvement projects. So we'll be renovating Pima Park and expanding that, adding pickleball courts. We're going through a feasibility study for the Cactus Aquatic Center and building a new aquatic center there.
Nice.
So there's all kinds of really great big projects in the works right now. But those are some great ways to stay in touch. We have an e-newsletter as well.
Okay.
So if you look up our city subscriptions on the city website, you can find our Parks and Rec e-newsletter that goes out monthly, and we share information on programming, on projects, things coming up. So that's another great way to stay involved.
Nice.
I subscribe to that. Yeah, it's really good.
Better.
Keeps me in touch with the kids and what you guys are offering. Maybe for me too. Well, thanks so much for being here today with us, Kevin. It's so good to see you. I miss working with you. And thanks again, Greer, for being here with us.
Yeah,
really
thanks for
appreciate
having
it.
me.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for joining us today on The Vintage Voice. We're so happy that you could be here today with Kevin McKee from Scottsdale Parks and Rec. And I hope you learned something new about maybe finding something new to do, a new hobby, finding a new purpose even. And remember, Scottsdale, stay vertical.